Writing music is one of the most fulfilling things we can do as creatives, mostly because it's a medium form of expression that can be completely created alone, and not necessarily with others. But what if you want to step up your game and write more effectively and get your ideas across with great sounding results, and with as little prep as possible? I'm going to show you 5 great plugins for songwriters, and by the end of this video, you'll be creating demos that will make your friends, family, and others ecstatic about your work. Let's get into it. A quick note, I'm not including virtual instruments or detailed mixing plugins, because the point is to get you creating your demos with better quality and with greater speed without any sacrifice whatsoever. So if you're expecting FabFilter Pro Q, my bad, it's not in this video. Of course Ozone is right out the gate. It really is the perfect tool for taking your demos and pretty much prepping them for a great listening experience. Regardless of your expertise in mixing or mastering, Ozone can take your demo mixes and EQ, balance, enhance, and maximize the overall track. Where knowledge of these skills goes a long way past just this one plugin, it can simply be added to your master bus right before you export your new single. And then you can hop into the car and start fucking jamming out. Here's a plugin that goes further than just being for vocals. This is a suite that will compress, EQ, multiply, widen, add delay, and reverb, as well as limit your overall signal. So if you're used to adding these kinds of plugins to your tracks, this plugin just might replace that chain overall with just a single instance. Each module can be turned on and off depending on your needs. And if you're a vocalist, a guitarist, a synth programmer, whatever, this plugin covers so many bases easily. And guess what? It just sounds great. I personally use this in practically every songwriting session. Every session. Help me. NAD IR. Am I saying that right? Now, even as a plugin mostly for songwriters that deal with guitars and basses, this impulse loader is free. And as a free plugin, it offers a pretty great IR loading experience. If you're someone that does write with guitars or bass, then you could benefit from loading different IRs into your rigs. It can not only spark some creativity, but it may also get a great tone quick or quicker. It even comes with the Ignite amp sim as a bonus, and that too sounds pretty damn good. What a plugin to add to a songwriter's list. Well, in all fairness, L1 is probably one of the easiest plugins out there to tame loudness. Yes, there's so many different ways to do this, like clipping and maximizing, whatever. But if you need to move on and tame the take you just created, L1 has your back with linked faders and a release fader you probably will never touch. Personally, L1 is the king at adding a single plugin to tame how loud things start to get, especially if you're like me and tend to over add to your parts. I don't know, it just works. Before my #1 pick, be sure to like the video. And let me know if there's any plugins that definitely should have been on this list in the comments below. If you know, then you know. Honestly, Soothe 2 is the easiest #1 pick for songwriters. Because 1, you shouldn't be mixing while you write music. That's a bad habit that usually tries to stretch creativity over a very long period of time. And honestly, it could burn you out real quick when you start chasing tones instead of parts. This is where Soothe 2 comes in. If you deal with super dense guitar parts or very full vocals, maybe even very poor sounding drums, then Soothe 2 is the fastest way to go from a harsh, unlistenable state to a pretty well sounding mix without doing hardly anything. It's an absolute time saver, so that you don't need to sit there trying to figure out why your demo hurts your ear so much. You can also set presets on your first couple of uses, and then just load those in when your demos are coming together down the line. Now, I don't recommend throwing it on all of your tracks, unless you have like a beast of a computer. But you can put it on the master bus and just keep moving along. Just saying. Here's an honorable mention. JST Skybox. It can be a slapback spring reverb, it can be an angelic atmosphere creator thing, or a pretty convincing drum room. It also has ducking controls, compression, and modulation stuff, and pitch shifting, believe it or not, to make it usable on practically any source, and do it very well. Personal favorite, just saying. Songwriting is fucking great. And as a songwriter myself, it's also super frustrating when things don't translate very well. Things can also get pretty irritating when your tools fail to get the sound you hear in your head. Yeah, fuck that shit. Hopefully this list puts you on a path to even better sounding demos and a super slick workflow. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know if you agree with my list. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next Drastic Truth experience. You know, I don't own Soothe 2, but I have used it, and I know a lot of people that use it too. And the ways that I described are the ways that they also use it, especially when it comes to songwriting. So I'm going off of other people's experience there. I'm really sorry. But everything else, it's all in there, dude.